Let's talk about the WIG. Last time we talked about strategy, and the next step in the process is the WIG, the wildly important goal. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second, but let's recap strategy for a second. So here we have a map, and we're down here on the left-hand side, and we want to get up here. This is our vision, and this is not a cross-country map. This is like an inner city map. But what we'd like is ideally is we would like this thoroughfare, this highway, this interstate expressway from where we're at now to our vision. But that doesn't exist. If it did, there'd be a traffic jam on it anyway. It'd be a red ocean of competitors who've seen the easy way to get to success, and we'd be fighting to get past them. What happens in actuality is that we have to kind of find our way. We have to navigate toward that vision, and the path becomes clearer and clearer the closer we get to it. But in the early days, we just kind of have a general direction. We need to head that way. We might have 3 different streets branching off. They're all kind of generally going that. All we know is we're not going to take the one behind us. And that's how it feels a lot of times when we're trying to decide what's the strategy that our team is going to pursue for the next possibly 2 or 3 years. What's the area of focus that we're going to narrow ourselves down to for the next 2 to 3 years? And that was the topic of the last video. Once we're there, we have to figure out what is the WIG, what is the wildly important goal. This comes from a resource called The 4 Disciplines of Execution. It's a great book, a great group of co-authors that put this together. And like a lot of the tools that we use with clients, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't work. There's a lot of people who write books and they're just writing books to write books. And we've tried a lot of that stuff and failed. I failed miserably over the 20 plus years I've been doing this. But this is something that we've tried and it works really well with clients. And all of our clients are going to have a wildly important goal for the year. So you see, we take that strategy and we say, what's a wildly important goal related to that strategy that our team can focus on for the next year? And so the way that we do this is not just focus on the wildly important in asking the question, what do we need to do to make the strategy move forward? So if I said sales and marketing as a discipline is our strategy, which is a very common one. A lot of companies, to scale, to get to the vision they want, they have to up their sales game. And a lot of times the sales are organic or they're mostly founder-led. And we have to get to this point where we can generate reliable incoming revenue. So sales and marketing as a discipline is a common strategy. So, but what do we need to focus on to move that strategy forward? And you say, well, sales. The problem is that sales is a lagging measure. The only thing that we know is when sales arrive, they've arrived. But how do we know that we can anticipate those sales? And that's where the second step comes in. Act on the lead measures. What are the things we can control? We can't control whether customers choose to purchase from us or not, but we can control how often we get in front of customers. We can control the things that we say when we're there. We can control accountability to a sales process. So if sales and marketing is the discipline, we might say that our wildly important goal is to get 21 discovery meetings during the year. And we know that if we have 21 discovery meetings, just looked at our historic close ratio, we're going to add roughly 7 clients for those 21 discovery meetings. And so we say, okay, well, we want the 21 discovery meetings and we expect that we're going to get 7 clients out of that. And now we're going to keep a compelling scorecard around the discovery meetings. Or we might say, well, 21 is a fairly infrequent number. We need an activity that happens less sporadically in order to measure it and kind of get a feedback loop on are we doing okay or not. And then we would simply say, well, do discovery meetings come out of the blue? Well, no, it probably takes like 4 or 5 meetings to get to a discovery meeting. Well, what do those meetings look like? And we say, okay, well, let's standardize what those meetings look like so that we know when they happen and let's measure those. And if we say we want 21 discovery meetings, maybe it takes 105, if it's 5 to 1, maybe it takes 105 prospect touches in order to generate those 21 discovery meetings, in order to generate those 7 clients, which are going to generate X amount of revenue. So you can see how we've gone from focusing on revenue, which we can't control. It's so far down the chain. I don't know if the actions that I and my team are taking today are actually going to affect this number because it's so far out. But if I follow the chain backwards, I can say, well, if we have 5 of those meetings today, we're probably going to get 1 discovery meeting sometime in the next week. And after we have 3 of those discovery meetings, we're probably going to get a client. So we're making progress. That's what a WIG is all about. When you create a compelling scorecard, the next thing that you need to do is review it on a weekly basis. That's another part of our model. We're going to get to that later. But for now, just understand how important having a wildly important goal for your year is. That's a tongue twister. In order to accomplish your vision. That's what it's all about.